Means obviously it's on. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. All right, we are going to dive right in. Before we do that, I have a very special guest. I have Mayor for the day. This is Jasmine Garcia. She goes to the university, and you're undergrad in political science and I think international relations. Wow, brave, right? But congratulations. Thank you so much for being here this morning. So I am going to have you kick off our meeting with leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it is one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Okay, Madam Mayor, or Madam Clerk, sorry. You can be Madam Mayor if you
Madam
want.
Mayor.
It's not
right.
stressful. Let's see, Madam Clerk, why don't you do roll call, and then I'm going to have Jasmine tell us a little bit about herself. So go ahead.
Awesome. We're going to call roll for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026, Reno City Council meeting. Councilmember Taylor. Here. Doerr.
Here.
Vice Mayor Martinez.
Here.
Councilmember Ebert.
Here.
Reese, absent at this time. Anderson. Mayor Sheevy.
Here.
You do have a quorum of the Reno City Council.
Okay, thank you so much. We will head into public comment. Jasmine, is there anything you want to tell us about yourself besides school and all that? What do you do for fun?
Ooh, I feel like a couple of my favorite hobbies are reading. I love yoga and Pilates, but I'm also really into current events and what's going on in the world. So I usually like to inform myself. I love reading the Wall Street Journal. I have a couple journals I like reading to kind of keep myself informed. Sounds a little weird, but that's kind of just what I do to entertain myself or to kind of keep myself just knowledgeable. But yeah, those are some of my favorite things.
Okay, well, you sound pretty brilliant. I don't know a lot of people that's the first thing they want to dive into
Yeah.
for fun. But,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for being here. And you are a resident of Miss Anderson's ward. So she says she has openings on the NAB.
Oh.
Okay?
I love that.
We've already signed you up.
Okay.
Okay, I love it. All right, Madam Clerk, take us into public comment.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have a proclamation this morning, if you'd like to start there.
We sure do. I am really excited about this. Where is our honoree? Come on up. This is Susan Roth, everyone. Most of you have known Susan for a long time, but she has hit a massive, massive milestone. And correct me, it's 40 years, am I right, in the Bar Association? That is phenomenal. We are so lucky to have her here at the City of Reno. She is an amazing woman. Jasmine, would you like to get up and read her the proclamation? I really wanted to celebrate my friend. I've known Susan. I knew Susan before I was even in politics. And that's the kind of community leader that Susan is. She's out in our community. She knows a lot of people inside City Hall, outside City Hall. Why don't you walk up there?
Okay.
We'll have Jasmine come and do the honors for you. Are you nervous, Jasmine?
A little bit.
No, you're going to be great. Follow Brian. You're going to be great. So, Susan, tell me, are you feeling good about this or what?
Yes, but also overwhelmed. It's very special. Thank you.
Well, we also had a council member that was there when you were honored, and it brought tears to his eyes and how proud he was of you. And I just think it's such an incredible accomplishment. And all the knowledge and expertise you bring to this city, we are incredibly grateful. So we wanted to celebrate you.
Thank
Do you
you.
have a proclamation with all your years of service here at the City of Reno? Do you have your own?
It's gone fast. I'm blessed to have this job and work with wonderful people, friends, I call it work family, yeah.
I love that. But you don't have your own proclamation, correct?
Oh, gosh, no.
Oh,
no.
good.
Thank you,
Yay.
thank you.
Okay, well, that warms my heart. Okay, Jasmine, take it away for Susan.
Whereas Susan Roth is a highly respected and indispensable team member at the City of Reno and a fixture of the Washoe County legal community, and whereas for almost 30 years, Susan has worked as a deputy city attorney in the Reno City Attorney's Office, and during her distinguished career, she has educated and mentored a wide array of city attorneys, engineers, public works directors, city managers, and elected city officials. And whereas her legendary knowledge of public works, stormwater management, and sewer systems is just as impressive as her tireless work ethic and positive attitude. And whereas today we honor Susan for her recent and well-deserved recognition for 40 years of dedicated and distinguished service to the Washoe County Bar Association. Now therefore, I, Jasmine Garcia, on behalf of Hillary L. Sheevy, Mayor of the City of Reno, Nevada, do hereby declare January 14th, 2026 as Susan Roth Day.
Ah, there you go. And I can honestly say, best dressed attorney.
Thank you. I had to.
Susan loves her fashion.
Yes.
There's one thing we do share in common.
Thank you, Mayor, because I know this is from you, and to do this, very special. Thank you.
Well, I love to see women in our community thriving, and you are such an inspiration to so many of us. And Carl, would you like to say a few words? Because I know your team is incredibly proud, too.
We're proud to have Susan part of our team. She is contracts all day long. She is a professional. She's a great team member. She gives us awesome support, and we have her back whenever she needs us. And we love you. And we're so happy to have you on our team. So.
Other thing about Susan is she is probably one of the kindest people I know inside City Hall. So thank you so much. And I know that Carl's team, his whole entire team, really appreciate you. That's one thing I love about Carl is that he loves his team and he takes care of them and he's proud of each and every one of you guys. Huh, John? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, congratulations, my friend. Thanks. Okay, Madam Clerk, we're going to send it back to you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. First item today is opening public comment. It should be noted for those in attendance that comments are to be addressed to the mayor and council as a whole. Comments heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the council's agenda. Council may not take action upon any matter not agendized on today's agenda. When you're called on for public comment, please state your name for the record and begin speaking. The timer will begin when you say your name and you will be afforded 3 minutes. For those participating in chambers in accordance with Council Rules 6.3.11, while in this room, please be respectful. Disruptive behavior from audience members like clapping, yelling, whistling, etc., which impede the meeting, may result in a warning issued by the presiding officer. If this behavior continues, you may be removed from chambers. If you're an attendee in the Zoom meeting and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand at this time. Our first public commenter is Ron Trevor, followed by Terry Brooks, followed by Stephen White.
All right, my friend. It's so nice to see you.
Good morning. It's good to see you as well. Good morning. My name's Ron Trevor, and I'd like to thank Council for allowing me to speak this morning. I'm a representative of SAVE, which stands for Senior Auxiliary Volunteer Effort, that works with Reno Police Department. And today I've got the recaps for the hours volunteered for fourth quarter of 2025. SAVE currently has 81 active members, another one in training, and during the fourth quarter, there were a total of 5,374 hours volunteered by members of SAVE. This represents a savings of $165,841 to the city of Reno. Some of the key areas that were covered during the time frame, we had 15,509 citizen contacts, mainly due to the trunk or treats for Halloween. We had 2,224 72 hours notices abandoned vehicles. We had 813 school patrols, 580 violations, handicap violations, and stolen vehicles and fictitious plates, we found 15. The year-end records for 2025, there was a grand total of 20,868 hours volunteered, which represents a savings of $643,986. And we did hit, which was reported the last time, we hit over $10 million since 2001. We'd like to extend, SAVE would like to extend our thank you to Mayor Sheevy and Devin Reese for attending our annual appreciation dinner last month, and that's all I have. Any questions?
No, but I will tell you, your work is miraculous. How many SAVE officers do we have right now?
We have 81.
81.
Yeah.
81.
Yeah.
81. Are you recruiting?
We are, yes, we are. We have, we've got several others that haven't passed background checks yet, but will be in our training pretty soon.
What's the requirement? Is there an age requirement?
Yeah, 50 and older, you have to be able to do 16 hours of volunteer work, whether it be here at City Hall front desk, or walking patrols within RPD, or vehicle patrols.
All right, I love it, because I told Ron that I'm going to become a SAVE officer.
Yes, I know you said that.
Right.
We might hold you to it.
Well, thank you so much,
Okay.
and we have a special honor for you, my friend, coming up, so.
Oh, I know.
Thank you so much, Ron. Look, he's getting red.
Thank you, yep. See you in 2 weeks.
All right.
Bye.
Terry Brooks, followed by Stephen White, followed by Gary Mellencon.
Terry, good morning.
Good morning, it's me, Terry Brooks again. And today I'd like to share with you my thoughts on aging and sleep and what seniors go through. When someone retires, they may wind up napping during the day. Then they don't get enough sleep at night because they don't burn up enough energy that day. They often wind up with hypersomnia, which is excessive daytime sleeping, which then leads to insomnia, which is trouble with nighttime sleeping. When they have no practical schedule to use for times of sleep, they wind up with disorganized sleep disorder with trouble going to sleep. This can lead to sleep apnea when breathing stops during sleep, which then can lead to excessive daytime drowsiness, disrupting nighttime sleep. Periodic leg movements can lead to twitching over sleep, or changes in environment, diet, or exercise can lead to lack of sleep. Every day I eat a diet that is healthy and right. It keeps me active during the day and makes me sleepy every night. Every day I get enough exercise, it keeps me moving upright, and it makes me really tired, so I sleep well at night. I try to eat my meals and exercise on a daily schedule, which helps me to go to bed and sleep on such a schedule. But whenever we change our clocks to or from daylight savings time, I have trouble sleeping on schedule after changing from the previous time. It's hard for me to go to sleep when thinking about when I ate or thinking about why I went to bed an hour earlier or an hour late. So before we change our clocks ahead, I go to bed 10 minutes earlier for each of 6 days. Or before we change our clocks back, I go to bed 10 minutes later for each of 6 days. You might think that such adjustments sound really strange, but I come up with such methods to try to adapt to any kind of change. I would like to thank you all for listening to me today. And I look forward to coming back if I wake up on time that day. Thank you.
Well, Terry, we certainly enjoy all of your poems. That was fantastic. I love that.
Stephen White, followed by Gary Mellencon, followed by Judy Galley.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
They're
and
coming
Happy New
along.
Year.
Coming along. I like it.
Got to keep reminding you about this, you know. Give you a little history. There's been method to my madness over the last 30 years. I understood that artists were fully protected by the First Amendment, but city governments all across the country, they didn't know that. So we had to go into federal court, and we had to bring lawsuits against Reno and against Parks to get that defined. And now we know that the fine arts are a form of protected speech under the First Amendment, and the right of an artist to sell their artwork is also protected by the First Amendment. But that wasn't enough. City governments didn't know how to deal with it. The mayor knows this. She's talked to other mayors to get a blank look on their face. So then we had to write the Reno municipal codes. And we also had to go into the state legislature and get State Assembly Bill 351 passed, called the Art in the Park Bill, that requires the administrators of all the public parks to establish areas in the parks for artists to be able to display and sell their artwork in the parks. And now we've created the display panels, the mushroom of the butterfly effect that we're going to place in the parks around the city. They're again creating an example to every other city in the state. You know, people don't know this. City governments don't even know that the fine arts are a form of protected speech. They have no clue. And they don't know how to write a code. Your own city attorneys, not this group, but the previous city attorneys, what, 11 years, they didn't know how to write a code to deal with this because they didn't understand the difference between a commercial vendor and a First Amendment protected artist. So what we're doing here in the park is huge. What we're doing here in Reno, if we establish this, it literally can carry all over the state. We can literally give the gift of art back to generations of our young people and seniors all across America. You realize that for all these years, young people have been denied the ability to just share their artwork with the community in violation of their constitutional rights? Generations of young people have lost that ability, you know, along with our seniors. We got a great group of seniors out here in the lobby. I had a chance to talk to some of them last Wednesday. They were clueless about the fact that they can take their art guild and go out in the parks and do art shows in the summertime and gain membership for their art guild. They had no clue. They had no clue. So I was happy to talk to them. Before I finish, the artists in the lobby are going to have their reception on the 20th between 5 and 7. Please come. I'm going to be there. And Nathan, I don't know, there he is. I want Nathan to be there. You know, the word has to come from the city. I come and tell these people this and they don't really kind of believe it. It's got to come from you and it's got to come from the Park and Rec. It's got to come from all of you. But what we're doing is huge.
Mr. White, it's the 20th? What day is that?
The 20th of this month is the reception, I imagine, was being held right here in the lobby.
Okay.
Between 5 and 7.
Okay.
For all of these ladies. But, you know, you need to start this with the seniors. You start this with the seniors, you get the seniors out there, and that creates the family values, and they end up becoming the mentors to the young people. And every place I've done this, in Colorado and Nevada and Arizona and Utah, we start with the seniors. They set the groundwork for all of it. And that creates the family values, and that gets the whole thing going.
Well,
God
thank you.
bless you all in the
Thank
new
you
year.
so much.
I'm excited about this.
How's it going with Nathan? Good? Nathan? You've been working with Nathan?
You know me.
Good. That's,
I'll
you're
hear what
great.
you said when I get home, though.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, bud.
Bye.
Gary Melancon, followed by Judy Galley, followed by Donna Gill.
My name is Gary Melanson. I live at the Vintage at the Crossings. As most of you know, or you should know, that 60 to 70% of our issues are civil matters. The city can't help. We're tired of the code enforcement, housing, everybody telling us they can't help. I went to the Better Business Bureau and filed a complaint with my civil issues. I have a heater issue and it's too noisy, and when it's cold outside in the low 20s and the teens, my panel unit will freeze up and build up pressure, then it explodes. After it explodes, it will run and run, and it gets up to 100 degrees or more, and after it explodes, it wakes me up and I can't get back to sleep. I'm 72 years old. I have a bad heart with a pacemaker, a heart monitor in my apartment. I also have epilepsy, multiple myeloma, a terminal cancer. I need my sleep. I have been fighting Cody Booz, the district maintenance director, Michelle Pardis, for 3 years now. In fact, Michelle Pardis has tried to evict me and taken me to court for communicating with the staff in an aggressive manner about my repair concerns. The judge threw it out. So now I'm starting over with new issues. I live at the Vintage, like I said. Some of the tenants are going to the city hall today and they're here. This is the third time we've been here about our issues, and most of them are the same issues. It would be nice for someone to come and support us fighting FPI management. As you know, they don't repair much. We also have doors that don't open and close right. Michelle Parties and Cody Booth keeps telling us they work as designed. The problem is us. I called the door manufacturer and was told there are 3 or 4 parts that are needed to repair the doors. Was as advised, these doors are not high-quality doors. They are not high-traffic doors. That's why they don't work right anymore. At our meeting, Michelle was talking about our issues, and Angie, a new director, stepped in and butts Michelle and says, how can the tenants expect to get repairs in a timely manner when they have over 100 open, not yet reported invoices? Angie states repair orders are out of control here. She was gone in a couple weeks after that. The first time the manager has ever told us the truth is when Angie told us we got all these repair orders open. And we haven't had maintenance people. We're going through maintenance people. We got trash issues. The health department's involved. We got major issues. We need help. I hope you're all looking at the 7-part documentary, and this is Reno. That's telling you what the truth is. Our apartment's in it. Some other apartments are in it. I don't know what else to say, but we need help.
Gary, first of all, thank you so much. And I also want to commend, this is Reno, for highlighting this. I think it's really critical. First of all, there are tenant rights, and I believe there are a lot of violations. So what I want to do, and actually ask Ms. Dewar, because this is something that she's been knee-deep in for a long time, and we've been working on this. And so I want a community meeting, for one, but I also would like to send a letter to the Attorney General for tenant rights. And also, when we have that meeting, I would like to get our city attorney and our code, because some of that you mentioned do fall under code. But you absolutely need backing, you need support, and I'm going to make sure that you get it, because we had conversations with this and had hoped that they had changed their ways. Clearly, it's gotten worse. They're retaliating, and it's not going to be acceptable.
And the city gave them a $600 to $800 pay raise with the rent. And since the city gave them those pay raises, we get less done. It's like they've clammed up so tight, they don't even squeak when they walk.
I don't know.
That's,
We don't-
it's Reno Housing Authority increased the reimbursement to, because they're in 89511, they wanted to elevate the income to the business. But I think what Gary's saying is that they've seen less.
They've
as a
seen
result.
less. Yeah. Well, and that is
Well, they
not
got
okay.
about 30,000
but
towards the end of the year or
It's absolutely a
more.
violation of NRS, 100%. So go ahead, Ms.
Yeah,
Dewar.
I'll just take a minute. Madam Mayor, I just want to remind the council that we were requested to provide, I think it was 1.7 million, to Green Street, who is the builder, for another low-income property. And we held up giving that money because of all of the violations, in particular at this property. And a lot of the violations were fixed. They were systemic structural issues. But the problem is that when people live a place, things break. And what they failed to do at FPI, so 3 different companies, Green Street builds, Vintage owns, FPI manages. We also requested that FPI not be the management group at the new place. We are so frustrated. And I have to say, it continues to this day. Some of you may remember that I dealt with another Vintage FPI property on South Meadows, and Brandy stepped in as well. And the trash was loaded for weeks.
I
until
got pictures since 2019 on trash in our place.
So just this week, on Monday, today's only Wednesday, there was another report of trash problems here at Vintage. Again, it's almost every week, and apparently District Health came out. And I don't know if they actually cited them, but
No, he gave them until today to make sure it's cleaned up. Last night, they had it cleaned, they called them, so.
But this is routine, and they're not
It is.
cleaning unless there's a report filed. And when Gary said something about 100 pending complaints, there are over 100 pending complaints.
Questions I'd like to ask our city manager too is also if we can revoke a business license under these kinds of conditions, something to that capacity. I don't know what that looks like, but I think we're at that level whenever we're continuing to hear ourselves talk. It's wrong.
Yeah, the city will work with the city attorney's office and take a look at what the ability we have there.
Right, and we just can't, I mean, how many chances can we give? I think I must have been involved in 10 garbage complaints at the same property for the same exact thing. So at some point, you know, the fines have to ramp up, and this is Reno article, they mentioned $100 fines. I'm sure that's nothing to a business, a $100 fine. And each time's like a new event, and it's another $100 fine.
That doesn't affect them at all.
Some of them, they haven't cleared up, and so it went to a $250 fine. But I mean, we talked about this a while back, a month or so ago, about code enforcement, and it's the same $100 fine. And we're not getting anywhere. So we have to do something different. We either have to have ramping up fees for each violation, so it means something. We could potentially go all the way to terminating a business license that you suggest. At the end of the day, we just want things taken care of.
That's all the bottom line is.
And during the RDA discussion, I am going to bring up some of the code nuances. I don't know if Lance is here, but we're going to talk about that to see exactly what we can, because I get conflicting
And anytime
reports.
you need me,
But-
call me and I will show up.
Well, we're going to need you because we want to do the community outreach meeting.
Not a problem.
So-
For attending, you know, trying to evict a person for reporting problems, that is problematic. I'm sorry.
It is, and I laughed, and the judge chewed them out. The judge couldn't believe that they were actually doing what they were doing to me.
And you're brave.
I'm
Thank
just
you
doing
so
what I
much,
feel
because
should
a
be
lot of
done.
tenants, this is very real. We've seen
Oh,
this
very
before,
real.
retaliation.
Very real.
Well,
And when the judge came out, he chewed their heinies out, and it took less than 3 minutes to close my case. And their lawyer tried, penal code this, penal code that, and the judge said, nope. It was kind of hilarious after it was all done. Well,
But
thank you for
scary as
listening to
well,
me.
and I think a lot of tenants are afraid. I mean, your point is well taken. Gary is brave.
yes.
He has a spotlight on him. They view him now as a troublemaker because he doesn't stop reporting the problems. And the only way they're going to get addressed is by reporting the problems and filing all the right forms, which you have done,
Yep.
the 14-day notice, et cetera. But I mean, I've been dealing with this for, I don't know, 8 years. I've
Since
had to
they
hand it
opened.
over to Brandy and FPIs throughout the city. It's not just Ward 2 or this property.
And we're sending all our 14 notices to Vintage and Newport Beach corporate office.
Well, they're not going to be welcome to do business here much
Well, I hope
longer.
so. That would be
If
nice.
this continues to go on, for sure.
Well, watch the 7-part, and you'll learn a lot. So will we.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you
Just,
for listening to me.
sorry, for just one more thing to add to this before we go to our next public commenter. Waste management needs to be a part of this conversation. There is a massive disconnect with what they're required to pick up and what's actually sitting around these cans. So either the FPI needs to provide much larger bins on the regular, or waste management needs to be required to pick up the trash that is around these bins every time they go. That issue right there could blow up
That was
75% of these
yesterday and
cases.
the day before.
So waste management needs to be a part of this community meeting.
Okay.
And
We'll
this
bring them
waste,
in.
just to be clear, some of them are outside, to your point. This particular one, the waste is inside, and it's a 4-story building, and it stacks up in the chute, which is a fire hazard, which I've had to get the fire department involved, which, you know, it just molders, and then there's no cleaning it. And then it falls all over the floor in the trash room, and there's no getting in, there's nowhere to put the trash.
Yeah.
We just got rid of the rat and rodent situation.
But this is the perfect example of where does code trigger at $1,000 a day, because that's the only way that people understand that you mean business, is whenever you're hitting the pocketbook.
We've been trying, and I
Well,
hope you guys can help us.
We
We
absolutely
greatly
need
appreciate
to.
it. And thank you for
Thank
listening.
you, Gary. Thank you.
Judy Galley, followed by Donna Gill, followed by Priscilla Danley.
Thank you. Judy Galley. I'm 81 years old. I've lived at Village at the Crossing for 2.5 years. Recently, I was up for my recertification, and there on the paper, it dawned on me that my life insurance was listed as a part of my assets. And it took a while to, why did I do that? I went into Nadine. I told her I want that changed. I want that taken off. You have no business with my life insurance. Your name's not on the policy. It was my mistake, your mistake. I mean, I've been here 2.5 years. anyway, she's going to retype the whole thing and correct it. But other people have mentioned that that item is on their application, and it shouldn't be. Maybe I was too anxious to get into the apartment building. It's perfect for me because both my sons live close by. But it's changed, and in my opinion, I think you should have a lawyer look at anything you're going to sign for an apartment building that you're going to be living in as a senior.
And could you repeat, I think you're saying
Yeah.
that there was a line item
Yes, it's
on
a
the
line item
application
of assets. And
of
these
assets, and either you listed your insurance, your life insurance, or they required it? Could you be clear?
Well, that was,
It was implied?
when you sit down for these interviews, they want everything about you. They want to go, everything about you. So I had it on my paper, and it got on that. So,
And then it would potentially go against qualifying, is what
Well-
you're saying. It appears that it increases your
It
income.
appears that I have a whole bunch more of income, which would raise
you don't.
this. So, not good, not
Yeah.
good. That's why I'm saying, in my opinion, maybe seniors ought to take a lawyer with them to read this application, because you're anxious to get into a place. It's convenient for you, you're next to your family, and obviously, I like the people there, and the office changes regularly,
Yeah.
so you don't know who you're dealing with, but so far, it's been good, and I like the people living there, and
There's also a program you should know about, and Carl has done a lot of work with them. It's the Senior Law Project. And so they're just let other seniors know that there is a project that helps
oh, yeah.
seniors.
This is
so-
part of my conversation now,
Oh, good,
so.
good, thank you.
Where do they get that, though, Hillary? Where do they apply for that, or?
Well, I'm
Maybe it's a
gonna
question for
Google it.
Carl. Yeah, Carl knows.
It's Nevada Legal Services.
Oh, yeah.
and So, yeah, they're
The
online.
place called We the People.
But Carl has done a lot of work there for free, so thank you, Carl.
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
Donna Gill, followed by Priscilla Danley, followed by Rosa Kirk Davidoff.
So is nuts over there? If I would just.
Hello. I'm a resident at Vintage at the Crossings. I'm also a former property manager for Eugene Berger Management.
Well, then you need to be running that place.
I'd like to.
She says, I'd like to. They need to hire you.
I've seen how little they care about in regards to maintenance, whether it's in the apartment or in the outside common areas. They only care about getting the check in the door, period. And, you know, with 13 years with Eugene Berger, like I said, I've never seen anything like that.
So you have the expertise, you've seen it.
Yeah, and I'm on subsidy now, so this property accepts HUD subsidies, and it should be held more accountable for what they do or don't do.
Oh, that's another one. When they.
Okay.
All right, well, we are drafting a letter as we speak to the Attorney General, and we will keep all of you informed. And I would just ask, thank you for supporting Gary, but please come when we have the community meeting, because all of you guys are going to need support. Strength in numbers.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Priscilla Danley, followed by Rosa Kirk Davidoff, followed by Craig Hoffman.
Hi, good morning. This is my first time here. Just a second. I'm renting at Vintage at the Crossing, and I'm here to present some issues since I transferred. I was first at Vintage October of '22, and I transferred to a different apartment April of 2025, and that's what I'm addressing, those complaints. I've had voucher issues, ledger issues, outstanding work order issues, and conflict of interest issues. I know I get 3 minutes, so I don't know how far I'm going to
Fine.
get.
You're fine.
Since I've lived there 3 years, right? I'll start with the voucher real quick. When I transferred, housing requested a new voucher, and that's a housing voucher, right, for Section 8. And so I submitted it to the office. They are supposed to fill it out, and they held on to it 6 weeks, almost to the time of expiration, and they didn't seem to know what to do with it. And that's something that happens with a lot of people all the time. So I go down and demand it, and they fill it out, hand it to me, and I take off. I'm going to deliver it to housing so it doesn't expire and I lose my housing voucher. But I thought you better read it first. So I read it, and there were errors on it. So I go back to the office and help the community director. I said, and she changed it and initialed it. And I took it, and I just barely made it under the wire at housing on the expiration date. Like, you know, and I took it down. They didn't allow time to mail it, right? Okay, so next was my ledger. I finally got a transfer to a new apartment April the 15th, 2025. And I thought everything was fine. Suddenly I noticed a huge amount was missing from my checking account. And it said it went to Vintage. And I go, $740 and the rent? And I went down and requested, everybody says request a rental ledger. And I didn't know that existed, which is DeMuso. And so I look, and they were trying to charge me full price for the month of April. Well, no, the voucher passed. This was Michelle Paredes was acting director because the community director had been fired, and she's also the area manager director.
Okay.
Okay, she was in charge of all these things, right?
Did that get taken care of?
No, that's why I'm here. So it went March, April, May, June, and I kept asking for appointments. I tried to study online and figure out how to correct all that myself to help them. And the new apartment number 448 had not been set up as an account. So the money's in my checking account, but it's not being taken out for the rent. And it's stacking up in fines and fees. Well, then I noticed that I'm being charged $50 as a late fee. And I go, that's quite a bit. And I went online, started reading again, and it was supposed to be 5% of what my part of the rent is. Mm-hmm. And so I told her, then they put it up to $66.45. And I said, first of all, those are not my late fees. I have the rent money. Michelle changed the code to cash equivalent and took out the money from my account without notifying me of a rent change. And it wasn't that high.
Okay.
Or anything, okay?
All right. Naomi?
So I just want to say, this is very emblematic of what I have run into. I've had to go in and help individual renters get their accounts fixed. They have an automatic deduct. The money's sitting there. But then they don't deduct enough. If you're $5 short, then they're adding on a $50. They're saying you're late.
And
then they're
25.
adding on a fee. And it then repeats because you can't ever get caught up because you go to pay that thing and now you're already short on the next thing.
It's not my bill.
And so what I really believe has to happen is that there has to be an audit and accounting. These books are out of whack.
Yes.
This accounting is wrong. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I will remind the council something that happened over a year and a half ago, which was that these folks' rent was doubled in 30 days, doubled from $1,000, let's say $900, to over $2,000 due to another accounting error again. So they had $2,000 being taken out. Their rent's less than $900. So there's so many accounting issues that I feel like this is something to put into the Attorney General letter if that's the way you want to press it. Yeah.
My bank said that taking money out of your checking account that's not in your lease, not in your voucher with housing, is fraud.
Right.
Without telling you, okay? And so I didn't know what to do, and so I kept going down, showing them how to. I worked with them, like, here's why you made the mistake, you did this code, and on, and she wouldn't speak to me, she wouldn't meet with me. And so it goes on. So I write the Muso and I said, do not touch my checking account.
Okay.
And lo and behold, they went in and took $160 out from 2024 in August. So they're not listening.
They're
Yeah,
not listening,
Carolyn.
they're double counting, they're accounting for your new apartment, your old apartment, they're withdrawing late fees and then saying you don't have enough money in your account to pay the rent. I mean, it's everything.
Well, they were charging me, I would pay for 2 apartments. I said, why? You didn't give me the key till April 15th.
Right.
The right hand doesn't know what the left, well,
Yeah.
that's enough.
Yeah, right. That's a whole other story.
Okay.
Priscilla, thank you so much.
Well, I've got,
We're gonna
I
make-
want to real fast tell you too, this will be really fast.
Okay, we got to let someone else speak too.
Outstanding work orders since April the 15th. Who actually inspects? I moved into a place that had a lot of issues
Yeah.
that still aren't
We're
repaired.
going to address those.
And then the last thing is conflict of interest. Okay. Our area manager director, Michelle Paredes, her significant other, Cody Booz, that's who is over all of our buildings. Okay? So I was talking to my community director, now we have a nice guy, Morgan, and I was sitting there talking to him, and the maintenance director comes out and says to me, it's okay, Morgan, you can talk to Priscilla. And I look up and I go, what in the world is maintenance telling me?
Yeah. Well, Priscilla, we're
Okay,
gonna-
that's a conflict of interest with HUD Housing. I don't know why they haven't caught that.
Well, we appreciate that. I need all your notes, everything.
Okay.
And we're on it. We're writing a letter right now as we speak.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
And
Thanks,
Madam
Priscilla.
Mayor-
Good job. Yeah.
Madam Mayor, if I could, John
Yeah.
Shipman, City Attorney's Office. I just, for the public, we're in a public comment
Yeah.
period right now. I just want to make sure that people understand that the council is very limited in their ability to interact and take action on the information being presented today. So I just, if we could, not that it's not
He's saying,
important
Hillary,
information.
shut up.
No, I'm just saying, I'm saying that, yeah, you've got limitations on what you can do, and if people could just present the information, we'll try to follow up with you.
Yeah, that's true. We're just supposed to take comments and not do any action, because that's how we get in trouble. So, well, thank you, Priscilla. No, you did great. You did great. You made it. Good job. All right.
Rosa Kirk Davidoff, followed by Craig Hoffman, followed by Alicia Dynamic.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Rosa Kirk-Davidoff. I'm a member of the Reno Sparks Tenants Union. We're a volunteer group that's been working with tenants in Reno for the last 2 years to advocate for our rights and make sure that tenants are talking to each other within their buildings about their issues. We've been working with the residents at Vintage at the Crossings for over a year now, or almost a year now, during which, as you're clearly aware, many of their concerns still have not been addressed. And I appreciated the comments you already made that make it sound like, you're aware of a lot of the issues already and are planning a community meeting, which we would definitely want to be involved with. And thank you to Councilmember Durr for pointing out that tenants are afraid of retaliation and the issues that can cause when they're trying to address maintenance requests. So you're hearing from them about their specific issues, but I wanted to just provide some more context about Vintage in Reno. Vintage Housing owns 12 properties in Reno, at least one in every city council ward except for Ward 5 for now. And they are continuously building and purchasing more of these buildings, and as you know, managed by FPI, but they are not staffed to the level to respond to all of the maintenance requests that they've been getting. A few things we've heard from tenants at other Vintage properties, so not at Vintage at the Crossings, but at other ones. Some examples included a tenant who was charged monthly for a broken dryer that wasn't fixed. Someone who had mold on her bed due to a broken gutter, but then when she requested to be moved to a different unit, she was asked to pay another deposit. And also a tenant who waited over 2 years to have a unit with a bathtub, which was a necessary accommodation because of her chronic pain. And so these tenants just want their units to be maintained and to feel safe and secure in their apartments, and they don't want to have to be afraid of a retaliatory eviction if they speak up about these maintenance requests. And so these are issues that we've seen at multiple Vintage properties, but of course from other tenants around the city too, and other tenants in FPI managed properties. And so I just want to emphasize, and I think you already know the importance of this, but that how addressing our housing crisis in Reno has to start with housing, and it has to start with tenants who feel safe and secure in their units. So thank you.
Well, good for you. And you've been working with them.
Yeah.
We need more people like you.
Thank you.
Impressive.
Yeah. And we can be contacted at renotenantsunion@gmail.com.
And the other thing is, I would say, anytime you're sending letters or those types of things, you should be sending them to all council members, so we know what's going on. It doesn't matter whether it's this property or other properties. Especially, it helps the ward representatives know who some of the bad actors are, if we typically, see over and over. This one is rare. We haven't seen, to my knowledge, there could be, but then people get retaliated against. So you're not quite sure, who's experiencing issus. So
yeah,
please,
it's a very common thing we hear from
Yes.
tenants is that they don't want to speak up because they don't want to get evicted.
Well, it's
So,
their housing. It's
yeah.
their livelihood, right? They need that to survive. So thank you so much. Good job.
Thank you.
Craig Hoffman, followed by Alicia Dynamic, followed by Jerry Snyder.
Hi, Craig.
Thank you, council members, Mayor Sheeby.
Mayor for the day.
That's exciting.
Jasmine.
Sorry, my name's Craig Hoffman. I'm also a student at UNR. And also I empathize with the FBI management people because I am just getting away from FBI management. They retaliated against me last fall. So I have a letter I sent to their lawyer if the tenants union wants to see it. But I'm here about the 777 motel in Midtown Reno. I checked into there last Monday to get away from a situation that I was in so that I could have a safe place before school starts next week. This place has cockroaches. It was not cleaned before I moved in. There's glass, light bulbs broken under the bed. I assume you know what those were used for. I have no heat. I had heat for 24 hours straight when he rigged the heater to run permanently. I talked to Reno Direct the next morning. They would not send anybody out to come do a health inspection because I was only going to be there for 12 more days, and the owner was allowed 14 days to fix the problem. So no one came out. No one has come out. I will be checking out Monday, and he is currently free to rent this place to someone else after I leave. Additionally, this morning, 2 rooms over, there is a room that has a sticker on it that the medical examiner put on there, illegal to enter. I took my dog for a walk this morning. That door was open all day for at least 4 hours by the time I finally was able to let someone know it was open. So he does not care about this property. He quoted me $970 something a month. After talking to some other people on disability receiving payments, he quotes them $1,400 a month. And I spoke to an unhoused individual. He was being charged $1,800 a month.
All right.
He is not providing a safe place for people who have no other option. He is taking advantage of people who have nowhere else to go. And I'm fortunate that I will be out of this place in a few days, but that is not the same for everybody else.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring this to people's attention while I am still at this
Thank
horrible
you.
place.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. When you say he, who are you referring to?
I'm not sure what the owner's name is. We got into it. He tried to kick me out. He told the police that I vandalized the thermostat. And he tried to kick me out for standing up for myself too, so.
Okay, well, now they're on our radar.
I have actually not been allowed to speak to the owner since last Thursday. The maintenance man is actually letting me borrow his space heater at the moment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had the heat on for 24 hours straight, and there's also no carbon monoxide detector in this room, so.
Okay. I'm going to have Brian Colpin meet with you. I want all this documented. We will be following up with them. We'll make sure Jackie Bryant with code enforcement, just like we will with FPI. But thank you so much for letting us know. Not good.
No, it's not. It's been pretty miserable. I'm excited to move somewhere else, so. I get away from FBI management, and then I end up at 777.
Yeah, and then they follow you. But I would also think, and I don't know, but with it being a student, some other levers, I commend you, because clearly you're having a tough time and you're still going to school.
Yeah, I got this. It's fine.
I like your attitude. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Alicia Dynamic, followed by Jerry Snyder, followed by Robert Avery via Zoom.
Hi,
Hi,
Alicia.
good morning.
Good morning.
My name's Alicia Dynamic. I'm the executive director of The Generator. I'm here today because we were invited to speak to you guys about the potential of there being an allocation of discretionary funds to our organization. So I just wanted to come and talk about who we are and what we do. There are definitely some familiar faces here, so I know that some of you guys are already somewhat familiar with our organization if you haven't actually visited yourselves already. I will also say that if you haven't, please feel free to come by sometime for a tour. We'd love to show you what we're doing there. The Generator is located off Oddie in
In Reno, right?
Well, it's in Sparks, although
I always say it's in Reno.
Interestingly,
We're trying to
because
adopt
of
you.
the line, I mean, that we, that would be, that'd be fine. We actually, you could like throw a baseball and it would be
that's
in
why
Reno.
I was
We're
like,
so
can't we
close.
just circle you in?
And we of course serve, an enormous amount of Reno residents, people from all over the region. So we've existed in this area since 2013. We're a 501c3 nonprofit. We have been the entire time. We have over 300 members who utilize our space in different capacities. We have over 50 studio artists. We have over 50 studios that actually house many of them more than one artist that people use on an ongoing basis to both create art as individuals and amateurs or create, run small businesses where we act as a small business incubator. We have all kinds of folks using the space for everything from creating large-scale sculptures from Burning Man to things like high school robotics teams or, smaller, like I said, the businesses that people are running or, just there's a huge variety of things in all different mediums and all different types of pursuits that people are doing in our space. We also act as an event venue, not just for events that we are throwing, often as fundraisers to support this work, but also for other organizations. We've hosted a lot of different nonprofit and community organizations to have fundraisers or other types of events for their work. I'm going to run out of time trying to explain all the things we do, but we do a lot of things with youth programming. We do camps. We do free classes on a regular basis. We've gone out into the community and done programming in schools, in shelters. We do outreach events. We just, there's an enormous breadth of ways that we support the creative community here in Reno Sparks, and we do all of it with as little cost as possible to the people that we are serving. We try to subsidize all of our memberships, all of our studio spaces, things like that. So the support of individual donors, as well as any support that, maybe could be offered by.
We should do Adopt a Artist program.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I love it.
Anyway, I ran out of
Thank you.
time,
We're,
but-
we're all big fans. And for those that don't know, this is like a large indoor art park.
Yeah, and we're actually working on building an outdoor art park right now. We actually just did a big end of the year campaign for that was very successful. We're still fundraising for that, but we have a 20,000 square foot pad on the east side of our building, that we are going to be making it into an outdoor art park, which is again going to be another
Yeah.
that draws visitors and creates more opportunities for community gathering, community events. We're going to have a community garden there. There's just a lot of ways that we're trying to expand constantly how we can serve the community. So we really appreciate you guys having us here
Well,
today.
you're perfect. You are the perfect representative for them. You're passionate, you're knowledgeable, and clearly you
Thank
love
you so
both
much, Mayor.
cities. All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Jerry Snyder, followed by Robert Avery via Zoom.
Robbie. I went to school with Mr. Avery in first grade. That's how small Reno is. Okay, go ahead, my
And you
friend.
remember your first grade classmates. That's some memory.
Right?
That's some quality.
Right?
So my name's Jerry Snyder. I'm the president of the board of directors of the Generator. And I just wanted to touch on some big picture things about why I'm passionate about this project and why I think it serves not just Sparks where we're located. And by the way, like if the United States can just like get Greenland, you know, I'm pretty sure we could
We
work.
should be able
something
to
could
just
work
get
out.
Sparks.
Yeah. So, but what I really want to talk about is the movie Ratatouille. In that movie, I don't know if you haven't seen it, you must. It's excellent. But
What was the name? I'm sorry.
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille, yeah.
The protagonist is a rat who hears his calling to chefhood in the words of a celebrity chef who sells books with the tagline, "Anyone can cook." And the antagonist of the movie is a food critic who's like, that's nonsense. It takes talent and training and passion and ability to cook. And then at the end, the rat kind of turns him around by serving him a ratatouille sort of dish that, you know, just calls him back to his youth and happier times. And he realizes that, okay, so maybe not anyone can cook, but a great cook can come from anywhere. And that's sort of what the Generator is about. How much talent, how much ability, how much genius is lost when people don't have access to tools or to equipment, to facilities, to mentorship. And so that's what we try to provide, is this sort of lowering the barriers of entry to people who want to make art or start a small business, who want to do a community project. Often we'll have, most years we'll have Boy Scouts do their Pinewood Derby cars there. There's high school robotics clubs. You know, these sort of fundamental building blocks of community and maker culture and, you know, sort of entrepreneurship that there's no other real space for, especially with the decline in high school vocational programs and things like that. The Generator really fills a need that is important. One other point I wanted to touch on, when we're able to get this art park fenced and up and running, it will feature a lot of large-scale sculptures. You know, it's 20,000 feet, almost half an acre, both available to the community and to, you know, Burning Man sculptures coming through, et cetera. With the addition of that art park, we will actually be, by square footage, the largest makerspace in the United States, at least, and I think the world. So it's, and that's right here in Reno, which is pretty exciting. And, okay, so technically it's in Sparks, but we certainly serve the larger community in Reno and surrounding areas. So I really respectfully ask for your support, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good. We look forward to supporting you, and maybe a piece of that art park can come just a little on our side of the street.
Sadly, it's on the east side of the building. It's the old garden center from the Lowe's that was there.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic. Okay, is Doug still involved in that?
Oh, yeah.
He is, okay.
Yeah,
I'll
Doug,
reach
and
out to him.
the Foothill team is, I mean, they're part of our lease was they're like, we have this space, we want to just include it in your lease so you can build an art park here. So it was really sort of Doug and Nettie's vision to have that, and it's pretty exciting to see.
That's so cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Congratulations. Good
Thank you.
job.
Robert Avery via Zoom.
There's Robert. I call him
Yes,
Robbie.
hello.
I call you
my
Robbie.
camera here. Hello, Madam Mayor, council members. Thank you for having me today. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. Hey, I just want to opine briefly on the Rivermount Sewer Project. I'm one of the neighbors in that city area, and I've been working with Naoma, Councilwoman Dewar, on the sewer project, and I just want to express my support for the project. There's a lot of great things about it. I've been talking to the neighbors. In fact, I've talked to several neighbors just recently, as I've been trying to fill people in and clarifying some of the details after having spoken with Naomi Dewar. And we don't have the sewers in right now, and so it's a new sewer line for our neighborhood. The city's planning on excavating the streets in 2026 and 2027 for the entire area. I'm in the 2027 project. And during the excavation, it seems like it would be a lost opportunity to me to not put in a sewer line at that point in time. And my understanding is the city does not have a budget for new sewer lines, only for maintenance and repairs of existing sewer lines, which is another point in the letter that I wrote y'all at the very end. Probably be a good idea to maybe throw a couple of cents, towards that for when the city does annex a neighborhood, such as they did with ours. They can put in those basic infrastructure requirements. What is nice about this project, and to that same point, is that when it comes right down to it, it's a hardship for many people to have to come up with $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, whatever it is. Well, what Councilwoman Dewar was able to do, she came, the city staff and Councilwoman came with a plan in October, I want to say, and the plan was to create a special assessment district, and that would have potentially created a hardship on many of our neighbors. But we voiced that concern, and it was really nice that staff came back and said, hey, we took what you said seriously, and we're going to have the city of Reno upfront the cost of this project and not charge anyone until they tie in. That, to me, is a completely logical option, because that could be decades before someone has to tie in. And so this is on your agenda today. I don't want to take all the time. You've got a packed agenda. I just want to thank Councilman Dewar and the city staff for making the efforts they did. They listened to us, which I think is really important. They came back with something that I think really works out well and is a strong benefit for the neighborhood and helps us to get up to par with the rest of the city from an infrastructure need. So I'm here to express my support, and thank you for your time.
All right, thank you so much. Naomi?
We have an item coming up, so I'll save most of my comments for that, but I do want to specifically just clarify, Mr. Avery's completely right. Right now, they're on septic system. The city's doing a road project. There's an opportunity to put in lines, sewer lines, while they're doing it. And they did initially come with a SAD, which the residents found would have had to start paying right away, whether they used tied in or not. And what I really want to get out of this comment is that the staff did an amazing job of listening to the public and completely revised their approach to go from an upfront payment to the city upfronting the installation and getting paid back by the residents. And that's in substance what you'll hear today in the first agenda item next or after consent. And I can't say enough about the process that I observed. The residents speaking up, being very forceful in some of their comments, the staff listening, and the staff also reaching out to get grants to help offset the cost. And they have been successful, and they're still getting more. So, that's all I want to say right now. We'll have a whole agenda item in a short bit.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. That's why you're our water expert. So, good job. Thanks.
All right, Madam Mayor, with that, we have no additional public comment. For the record, we did receive 77 comments, which were general in nature and not directly associated with an agenda item prior to 4 p.m. yesterday, Tuesday, January 13th. These comments were written correspondence received via our reno.gov online public comment form or by email to our office. Copies of these have been distributed to the Reno City Council and are available to the public on reno.gov/meetings. 1 letter in opposition and 76 letters of neutral or concerned nature.
Okay, thank you so much.
We're now moving on to item A4, approval of the agenda.
Okay, before I do that, I'm going to send it to our city manager if there's anything that we need to remove or any housekeeping notes, anything?
Yes, the only housekeeping is that we have attorney-client today at lunch, and then we will run through both the city council meeting, then the RDA meeting. We will do item C3 from city council after lunch, please.
Okay, thank you so much. All
And
right.
I want to make sure that we do C1 before we do C3 so that we can get it done.
It's in order, yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Hold on. Okay. That being said, we are going to do item A4, approval of the agenda. May I get a motion?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Oh, thank you, Ms. Ebert. I forgot. If you need to weigh in, just scream at me or Madam Clerk. Okay. We're going to head on to item A5, approval of the minutes. May I get a motion?
Motion to approve?
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, we're going to head into items B, consent agenda. Any council members want to pull any items off consent? I'm going to start with anyone that has their green light on.
B8, please.
B8?
Yeah.
Martinez, B8. Councilwoman Dewar? I have nothing. Okay, may I get a motion?
Oh, Madam Mayor, before
Oh.
we take a motion, I do have a public commenter.
Oh, sure, go ahead, sorry.
That's okay.
Jumping.
Our public commenter for our consent agenda items is Barbara Shakar.
All right, Barbara.
I did also, just to chime in, I did want to pull B12.
All right.
Thank you.
It's all you.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. This map was started back in 2007 when I was part of the, sorry.
You're fine, take your
I
time.
got it, yeah. I was part of the senior moment. I didn't think I'd be nervous, but it was the, oh gosh, what was it, Katie? Wells Avenue neighborhood plan started in 2007, and I was a part of it, and so was Jessica Sparazza, who, you know, may know her. I did actually quite a bit of work with Jessica. When I was doing code, I was working with the code to clean up on Grand Canyon Boulevard. I was, okay, I'm just going to start reading, okay? Go ahead. Good morning, Mayor Schutte. I've never met you, but thank you. And members of the Reno City Council, and Miguel, good to see you. My name's Barbara Checker. I have owned a home on Grand Canyon Boulevard for 37 years. I'm here to support agenda item B8 and talk about an exciting development involved with the plan, exciting development related to the Wells Avenue, there it is, neighborhood plan. I was involved with the plan when it was first started in 2007 and cared deeply about the Wells Avenue neighborhood in our community. Chapter 3 of the action plan, CA11, including, I'm sure you guys don't have this, the plan from 20 years ago, but this was in the plan, including enhancing, okay, the action plan was including including pedestrian, bicycle safety, and mobility in the neighborhoods with continuing sidewalks throughout the neighborhood. My street, Grand Canyon Boulevard, and a few other streets close by never have had a sidewalk. Parents and children have to walk in the street to and from Veterans Elementary School due to lack of sidewalks. We've even had people, handicaps, wheeling themselves down the street. I mapped the Grand Canyon, I mapped sidewalks on Capitol Hill,
Grand Canyon Boulevard, Colorado River, Broadway Boulevard, Liston Avenue, Casaza Drive, and found 97 homes without sidewalks. Public Work, can I just go? on?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Please finish.
Okay, Public Works Engineer Manager Katie Harrison has been very helpful. I met Katie in May 2024. Katie and Jonathan walked, because I have a problem walking a neighborhood, arthritis. But Katie and Jonathan walked Grand Canyon Boulevard to see where we needed sidewalks. Katie has kept in touch with me and has been working for grants for sidewalks. Thank you, Katie. Where are you?
She's right there.
Right, okay. As a long-term Reno resident, I ask you that you approve the addition of sidewalks in my neighborhood. This will greatly improve safety. Thank you for your consideration.
All right, fantastic job. How do you feel?
I feel good.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
I worked on this, but then life happened.
Yeah, life happens,
At the
huh?
very beginning.
We start working on something and lots of life happens.
Yeah, and I have other information, like from the plan, the neighborhood plan.
Okay.
That show, that, I talked about, that
Thank you.
shows,
Well, Barbara, it sounds like you work with Miguel too, and you're really involved in your neighborhood. And this one over here is vouching for you, and you got a champion right there.
and.
Great job.
Boy, Miguel was at my house right after I called him, right, Miguel?
Oh, see?
We talked about it, yeah.
See?
So.
I know many council members that show up on doors.
Yeah, well, yeah, I used to be a lot more active, so that's it, and I don't.
Well, Barbara, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. We'll keep following up on this.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's been on the news. It's been on the news.
Oh, yeah.
Grand Canyon Boulevard.
Yeah,
So-
I know exactly where you're at.
And if anybody has any questions or wants to read some more stuff, I can.
Great.
reach you at the
Okay.
end. Or should I take this off?
Yeah, sure, take it with you, and we'll make copies, so you can keep them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
It's
welcome, Barbara.
really-
Nice to meet you.
It's really a pleasure.
No,
to
no.
meet you.
No, likewise. All right. Madam Clerk, back to you.
Katie, I'm not sure if there's additional papers that are up there that belong. They were there. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. All right, Madam Mayor, so we have no additional public comment on these items, so we're just looking for a motion to approve all items except B8 and B12.
All
Madam Mayor,
right.
I'll motion to approve
I'm
the
getting a
consent.
motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay. If Mr. Martinez, if you think that this will be brief, I'm happy to
Yeah.
hear it now.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
I
ahead.
appreciate that. I just wanted to pull the item because we did have Ms. Sheeker here to provide public testimony in support of this project. And I just really wanted to thank not just the members of the CDBG board, Councilmember Reese and Councilmember Ebert for supporting this project being approved, but also the team members of the Public Works team, Director Koski, Katie Harrison, Kelly Wilson, who I see here also, for providing the support to be able to look at. I think for me, what was most impressive was when I first met Ms. Sheeker and going into her home, I had left some literature when trying to gather support, and she was very informed of what was going on, and I was impressed by the binder that she had with all the information about the Wells Avenue neighborhood plan, along with the fact that she had already walked the neighborhood herself, and she knew which parcels in particular needed sidewalk or not. And so, having walked those neighborhoods myself, it was apparent that the continuation of sidewalk was needed, and it was very difficult to get by because some of the yards had been taken over by shrubs or DG or rocks. And so even if you wanted to traverse those areas without going through the street, it was very challenging. So I just want to pull this item again to make sure I highlighted the support that was received for a project that was identified almost 20 years ago and that is coming to fruition in the summer of 2026. So appreciative of NDOT, appreciative of former Councilmember Sferraza and all her work with the Wells Avenue Neighborhood Plan to bring this to place, and all the Wells Avenue residents that helped support this, in particular Mrs. Sheeker, who has worked tremendously to make sure that this came to fruition. So I just wanted to highlight all of that. Thank you so much, Madam Mayor.
Great job. Great job. Okay, love to have a motion.
Aye.
Pardon? Okay. We'll get to you. Is it on this item? Yes. Yeah, it's on this item? Okay. Because we just took public comment, so I'll take her public comment after Miguel gives me a motion. Okay,
Perfect.
go ahead.
Happy to motion to approve item B8.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay, now we'll go into public comment for, we can take it on that item, but let's, as we move forward to item B12, but we'll hear public comment on item B8. Did you fill out a card? No, I didn't. Okay. No, well, you do after, so hurry, come on up.
So I just have a few questions on the Wells Avenue neighborhood plan. I wasn't really familiar with that. So where does that start and where does that end, the neighborhood plan?
So here's what I'll do. Write your questions down or just ask them, and then we will have Carrie answer them so that you don't run out of time.
Okay.
So if you
It's
want.
just a few questions.
Yeah, just
Okay.
write those questions down, or you can ask them.
Okay.
And then write them down, and then they will get with you, and they will give you all the background.
Okay.
So you don't run out of time, because you only get so much time.
Okay, so I'll just wait to ask my questions then.
Well, they can help you right now.
Okay.
Khalil's right there, and he can
Okay.
help address them.
Perfect. So I just have
Okay.
a few because I just want to know where it starts and where it ends. There's a few parcels along the river walk there. I want to know how those are going to be affected.
Okay.
So those are just my few questions that I have.
Okay.
That's
Good.
mainly it, because some of those parcels are owned, and just want to know how that's going to affect those parcels, so.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Khalil's right there. He's
Appreciate
gonna meet with you. Okay.
All right, Madam Mayor, we're moving on to item B12, pulled by Councilmember Ebert.
Okay, Councilwoman Ebert, take it away.
Did you get a vote? Yeah, I just like a little.
On 12. We did on 8.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Great. Yeah, just like a little information on this. I know I had asked during our briefings on this, just one, if this was, everything was above board with this. I know that we have given official notice to Waste Management that we might potentially terminate our contract. So just want to make sure that the public is informed about this contribution. And we just make sure that we let the public know that this is in no way a conflict of interest, given our contract and future potential contract with Waste Management.
Good morning, Councilmember Ebert, Caitlin Canner, Clean and Safe Manager. So this item, we are receiving a donation from Waste Management to Clean and Safe for maintenance efforts citywide related to encampments.
And for the city attorney's office, John Shipman, just confirming there's no conflict of interest.
Okay, do we have a representative from Waste Management?
Do not.
Okay, so do we have, was this just a donation that Waste Management decided to do? Is this something they've done annually? Is this something we've reached out to them to help with? I know that they're right on the Truckee River. Maybe they've seen some activity they'd like to help clean up with, or what's kind of the motivation here? And is this an ongoing donation that they've made in the past?
So this is the first time donation for clean and safe efforts. We are in constant partnerships with the 4th Street corridor business owners, and waste management is within this corridor as well.
Okay, so this is not something the city of Reno or Clean and Safe kind of asked Waste Management to contribute to. This was something they've decided to do on their own.
Yes, just with ongoing partnerships, this donation came to be.
Okay, thank you for that information. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve.
Second?
Or accept, sorry.
Okay. You're good? Okay, thank you so much.
All right.
All right.
Madam Mayor, we have a motion and a second.
All right, thank you so much. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, thank you, everyone. We are now going to jump on over because I have people here that need to get back to work. So, hold on. We are going to jump to Madam Clerk. What did I do with that?
You would like to open Redevelopment Agency Board?
I would.
Okay, great.
I would like to hear the presentation from Mr. Paul Klein. He is the chair of that board, and I've asked him to come today since I don't know if everyone, I don't think we've had a meeting with you guys yet, but we're going to start to, and this is going to be the first introduction, and he is joined by Mr. Mike Van Houten. Neither one of you need any introduction, but we are grateful you're here. So before that, we're going to, hold on. We're going to have to call roll and open up the RDA. Okay, go ahead, Madam Clerk.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and open the Redevelopment Agency Board for Wednesday, January 14th, 2026. Our first item is roll call, so we will do that. Councilmember Taylor?
Here.
Dorr?
Here.
Martinez?
Here.
Ebert?
Here.
Reese, absent at this time. Anderson?
Here.
Shivy?
Here.
Madam Mayor, you do have a quorum of the Redevelopment Agency Board. We're opening item A3, public comment. For the RDA, I have none registered at this time. We did receive one comment that was general in nature for this agenda item from Mr. Art Rangel. It was neutral, and it has been provided to the City Council and is a part of the record. We're moving on to item A4, approval of the agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. May I get a motion? I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, we're on to item A5, acceptance of the minutes.
All right, may I get a motion?
Move to approve.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, now I believe we are in B1.
That's correct.
Correct? Okay, just want to make sure that we are staying on track here. All right, Mr. Klein, the floor is yours. And again, you're accompanied by Mr. Mike Van Houten. Many of you probably know him for his great work on downtown makeover. So we're excited that you're here. I've asked them to continue to give me updates, so I kind of want you to give us a broad overview of what your what your role is, and then also we're going to dive probably a little bit more into regular meetings and just more initiatives, because I really appreciate your feedback, and the council is glad that you're here. So take it away.
All right. Well, thank you again, Madam Mayor. Jasmine was actually my student at the university. Is that how you guys connected? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, that is how we connected.
Is that how we connected?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Small world. So you must be proud Papa over here.
Yeah. So again, Paul Klein, I chair the RAB, and Mike Van Houten is here with me, a member. Since our formation by you all last March, we have heard 7 TIFs applications, 5 of which are specifically for RDA 2, 2 for RDA 1. Of those 7, 2 have moved up to you guys for approval, and there's shovels in the dirt, as it will. The other 5 are still in kind of gap and scope analysis. So along with that, we have reviewed capital improvement projects. We've provided feedback to staff on revitalization, economic development, and downtown action plans. We've offered input on the budget, the Restore grant eligibility, and then the rebrand of the RDA that's going to come through pretty soon. what we have next is there's a few more TIF applications in the queue that we're going to see. We're reviewing capital improvement projects for the next fiscal year in our next February meeting. And other than that, I have to say that we're here to provide as much value as we can to you all. Our board members are incredibly experienced, knowledgeable. We've got just fantastic board members. So we welcome any feedback from you all to help provide the most value we can. So we're happy to be here.
Okay, well, thank you so much. One of the things, because I've been listening to your meetings, one of the things we'd love to hear what your recommendations are for certain things. I'm trying to think, the last one, Mike brought up some really important initiatives. And so I would love to have, sort of those in line what your top ones are. One of them was extension of the RDA possibility. When we get to the legislature, those are some of the things that you've been discussing. Also, there's board structure that other cities that I've looked at that keep it really independent instead of political, and you have people on the board that all serve with precise expertise in each area, which the council doesn't have. There's all these different models. So I would love to see from you sort of your priority list, and we can move forward. But I want to have, I guess, more of a comprehensive discussion with the council on what you guys would like to see and how you move forward. It also keeps it much more transparent, just so you know, when you guys are coming and you're continuing with the agenda that you set out, because that's what we put you in place to do. And so therefore, things don't get overlooked. Quite honestly, I'm just going to be really honest. There was some, I think, miscommunication when the last TIF project came up. They did not see that. It was supposed to be much more comprehensive in front of them, and it came to us instead of coming to you guys. So those are the things that I want to make sure that you guys are getting the opportunity, and because we put you there for a reason. So, and maybe, did you by any chance bring a list with you, some of those things? Because I'm trying to think of the top, there were many, but I was just trying to think.
Since you all RDA met the last time, we've had conversations with city manager, with staff. A lot of idea sharing has been taking place because ultimately we're open to providing as much value as we can. We want to work with the charter committee. We want to do everything we can to recommend to you all how to make revitalization and redevelopment the best it can be. So yeah, we've explored all kinds of things. In our next meeting, we're going to hear about best practices in other RDAs across the country, such as the city of Boise that does some really independent work for their independent board. And I know you guys have considered that before you created the RAB the last time. So we're looking into kind of seeing if that might be something to recommend that you all consider again, perhaps.
Yeah, thank you so much. Well, and I think there's many reasons to look at it for transparency, but also council members have a lot on their plates. And then it also is really nice when you have community that's also helping you get it through, because downtown is going to be really, really important. And also you keep the representation. You put, the council ward representative, which would be Councilwoman Taylor. I'm sure she would be honored to serve on that too. So she can jump right in. Yeah. So thank you so much. Mr. Van Houten, is there anything that you would like to include? No? He covered it. Good wingman over here. I appreciate it. And so we look forward to having everyone come and having more joint meetings and really diving in, because this is an opportunity we haven't seen in a long time. This could be historical for downtown and truly change the face of what's happening downtown and the things that are going to make such an impact for residents. So lots of good stuff. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you all so much.
Thanks, you guys. All right. I don't think we have to accept a report, but I'm going to ask you. No?
You do not have to take
Okay.
a motion. It was discussion only.
Okay, so then do we close this?
Nope. If you would like to move on to item C1 on the redevelopment agency, you're welcome to.
Okay, let's do it. All right, we have a presentation, I believe. No, we don't? Is it Ashley? No? Okay, we'll move on. I guess it's all you.
Hi, I was going to call you Madam Mayor, different function. RDA Board, thank you. Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager for the record. Madam Mayor, this is an item that you have requested to be on the agenda for discussion from the body to request utilization of RDA funds for RPD.
Oh, okay.
So
All
we-
right.
staff has not prepared a
Actually, I thought
presentation.
excuse me, I thought we were going to be asking for a public opinion on the utilization of RDA funds, and that was the motion today. Okay.
So the motion is,
Doesn't say that. Okay. Okay, wait, so we're gonna make a motion to,
direct staff and outside counsel to get you a public opinion on the utilization of RDA funds for police officers.
okay, got it.
What does a public opinion, what do you mean public opinion?
Public opinion would be for outside legal counsel to be able to weigh in and give information that can then be disseminated to the public. That would not be attorney-client privileged
Oh, I see.
information.
Okay.
Okay.
So that's the motion and item in front of you today.
Okay, thank you so much. So we will motion to get that opinion.
Okay.
Okay? Do I have a second?
Yeah, I'll make a second, please.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Perfect.
Councilwoman Anderson? No? You're, okay. It's green, so I thought maybe you wanted to speak. Okay, oh, it's just an aye. Okay.
So I don't know. I just want to make sure everyone was aware.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry, what was your vote?
I was a yes too. I didn't know if it mattered.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, at this
All right,
time,
Madam Mayor, we're on item C2 of the Redevelopment Agency Board for comments.
any comments? No? Okay, we're moving on. Any public comment, Madam Clerk?
For item D1 on the Redevelopment Agency Board, we do not have any public comment registered and have not received any additional correspondence. So I'm now on motion, or item E, a motion for adjournment.
Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, we will see you. We'll have it on every council meeting, and then we'll look at maybe a different schedule so it's more conducive to working, because you guys are all busy with jobs. So we're going to make it happen. Thanks so much for being here. Good to see you, Mike. Okay. Now we're going to jump back.
All right, Madam Mayor, moving back to our regular
Scheduled meeting.
City Council agenda, we're on item C1, Rivermount Sewer discussion from Public Works.
Okay, thank you so much. Any public comment on this item?
We do not have any public comment registered on this item. We did receive correspondence as 4 letters of support and 1 letter of opposition and 5 letters of neutral or concern. This has been distributed to the Reno City Council and is a part of the record.
Okay, thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Let me get all my notes. Right. Good morning, Madam Mayor and council members. I'm Katie Harrison, Engineering Manager with the Public Works Department. I'm here today to give an update on the Rivermount Neighborhood Street Rehabilitation Project. Staff is requesting approval to include sewer main installation with the street project, as well as authorization to draft an ordinance creating an area-specific sewer connection fee for properties in the project area. And this project aligns with the strategic plan goal of infrastructure. The Rivermount neighborhood is off West Plum Lane between Hunter Lake and West McCarran, as shown in Ward 2 as shown on the screen. Council confirmed the streets in the Rivermount neighborhood for reconstruction back in March of 2022. However, due to increases in construction costs, street project construction schedules had to have been extended several years over what was initially anticipated. I also wanted to note that all highlighted streets in the slide comprise one project. The phasing shown is purely for street fund budget and construction sequencing purposes. So as a reminder of why this project is needed, First, the streets in this neighborhood are between 35 and 40 years old and are in poor condition, which is why staff recommended them to council for reconstruction back in 2022. Also, this neighborhood is a septic island with 105 parcels in the neighborhood remaining on septic systems. Installation of sewer infrastructure during a street reconstruction project is the most cost-effective method for installation. This method also preserves the integrity of the newly constructed street because people will not be cutting into the street in the near term to resolve their septic issues. There are several properties in this area that have experienced septic failures, and this will continue to increase as septic systems near the end of their useful life. To address funding of the sewer installation, with this project, staff evaluated several funding options and incorporated community feedback in our final recommendation. This slide summarizes the community engagement for the project. Staff presented the project to the community back in September of last year, and at that time presented an option of a special assessment district to fund the sewer main installation. After that meeting, a survey was made available to property owners for them to provide input on the project and utilizing an SAD. We heard loud and clear from the residents that there was not majority support for an SAD. Residents expressed a desire for flexibility in connecting to the sewer system, as well as concern for being able to make payments with little time to plan and budget. Staff took this feedback and revised the funding strategy. In the revised approach, the city would front the cost of the sewer installation and would be repaid through an area-specific connection fee. This fee would be due at the time of connection rather than payment required at the completion of the construction project. We had a follow-up meeting in December with approximately 60 residents in attendance. City staff and Councilmember Doer presented this revised approach along with additional clarification and context, which helped address many of the residents' initial concerns. By the conclusion of the meeting, there was broad support for this revised approach. Residents also requested that staff continue to pursue additional grants and loan programs to help further reduce the homeowner burden. Excuse me. So this slide breaks down the cost to install the sewer main, along with the calculation of that area-specific fee. The estimated cost to install the sewer main in the Rivermount project area is $4.4 million. Staff worked very hard to reduce the cost impact to homeowners and pursued all funding opportunities. And I'm excited to report that we were able to secure a nearly $3.1 million NDEP grant to help offset the cost of installing the sewer main. However, this does leave a roughly $1.3 million funding gap to be covered by the 105 properties, which is equivalent to $12,427 per property. Staff is recommending the city provides this funding upfront and is repaid over time with an area-specific connection fee. That fee is calculated using the base TUMWRF connection fee, along with the area-specific construction costs, to calculate a total area-specific connection fee of that $25,172 in bold at the bottom of the screen. This connection fee will be finalized with a rate study, and an ordinance creating the area-specific fee will be brought back to council by the Regional Infrastructure Department in the next few months. The city has successfully used area-specific rates in Verdi and the North Valleys, and they provide a benefit of equitable cost sharing among the benefiting properties. This proposed solution would allow homeowners to connect when it is best for them or at such time when their septic system fails. This allows homes that have failing septic systems who desperately need to connect that ability, while also allowing homes that have recently repaired or replaced their septic systems additional time to connect and prepare for that cost. This slide shows the breakdown between the sewer work within the right-of-way and that on private property. This sewer installation project will include the sewer main in the street, along with a sewer lateral and cleanout at the property line. The homeowners still will need to pay to construct the private lateral from the property line to their house and abandon their septic system. Depending on the home, these property costs could range from $15,000 to $30,000, bringing the total property owner costs from $41,000 to $56,000. Because of this, staff continues to pursue additional grants to help lower the cost for homeowners. Staff has also shared information with homeowners about a county loan program for this purpose and also private financing options. So here's a timeline of the project. We had that initial community meeting last September, and then we received the notice of that NDEP grant award in November. We then took that together and presented that funding approach back to the community in early December. We're here today requesting approval to install the sewer main with the street rehab project and authorization to draft an ordinance for an area-specific connection fee. Phase 1 of the project will go out to bid at the end of this month and would be back to City Council for award at the end of March, with construction occurring this spring and summer. Regional Infrastructure anticipates bringing the new sewer connection fee ordinance back to Council in the next few months. And then Phase 2 would go out to bid early 2027, with construction occurring spring and summer of next year. And here's my recommended motion, and with that, I'm available for any questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Is there anything you want to weigh in?
You know, I said it earlier, but it bears repeating that the staff they worked the process exactly how you would hope. They went out and met with the public. They anticipated the need for additional funding. They applied for a grant. They got a $3 million grant from NDEP to help offset costs. They knew it wasn't enough. They planned to apply for another DEP grant that will be somewhere between $1 and $3 million. And they also mentioned the possibility of being able to hook up to a county loan program. And I just wanted to explain, back when I was with the Truckee River Flood Project, I worked with Rosemary Menard, who was head of water resources at the county. That department has sort of been zeroed out. They got combined with Tumwa. But during that time, we went to the legislature and we asked them to allow us to set up a grant and a loan program for water things. So if you are on a well and your well suddenly goes dry or you're having challenges, you could hook up to a public water system. And this loan program could help you in paying for that. The septic system in this case, if you're on a failing septic system, you find yourself having to hook up, this loan could help you really stretch out payments. And then for flooding, if you're in a flood zone and we're looking at elevating your home, this grant could help offset the cost for that too. One thing so we did get that through. That was back in, I'm going to say, 2009. It's had very little usage since then. And one of the things I'm concerned about is that the county is either charging too high of an interest, so it's not really deemed affordable. Secondly, they don't advertise it, so nobody even knows it exists. And 3, they've set up what I call a means test, where you have to be kind of poor to qualify. Well, I think you just heard potentially you could be hit with a $30,000 or $50,000 bill to hook up. And nobody, I don't care how much money you make, I mean, sure, billionaire, but most people that live in Reno, Nevada, that is a big cost. Whether you're on a fixed income, have paid for your house already, or a working family, and nobody's prepared for a $50,000 bill. I'm sorry. And so I just talked to Susan Ball-Roth a little earlier, who we celebrated earlier today, and she's willing to go with me to meet with the county to talk about revising this program so it is more accessible, that the rates and the terms are more approachable, and that it's a more usable program, because there will come a time that people will, I'm sure, be interested in getting some offsets as well. So anyway, I just want to thank the staff. They invited me to be part of this project, and I was really thrilled to be there. And I can't say enough. And I mean, there's been a lot of community education. And I will tell you, at meeting 1, if I had to say, 80% of the people were opposed to this program. By meeting 2, at the end, I asked 3 different ways, and over 80% were supportive of the program. So what a turnaround. So kudos. Thank you.
Nice. All right, good. Okay, anyone else? No? Can I get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve item C1 and move forward with the next steps.
Okay, I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. And Ms. Ebert, if you want to chime in, just let me know. Okay.
Yes, thank you for checking.
Okay. All right. Madam Clerk.
All right, Madam Mayor, moving on to item C2.
All right.
You know, while we're moving on, I just want to add, it goes on, everybody needs sewer or septic. But what we are also don't discuss much is the fact of getting that groundwater contamination gone. So instead of contaminating the groundwater and the land, we get people onto a central sewer system. This is all good for the Truckee River and good for our environment generally. So there are a lot of benefits besides just someone needing to be able to use facilities at their home. So thank you.
Okay. All right, item C2, I'm going to have Ashley take us into a little background there in case anyone forgot.
And Madam Mayor, just for the record, we did not receive any public comment and have not received any correspondence on this item.
Okay, thank you so much for keeping me on track. Go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and Council. Ashley Turney, Assistant City Manager. For the record, the item in front of you today is potential approval of the third amendment to the Downtown Event Center operating agreement between the City of Reno and the RSCVA. As a reminder, this is in alignment with your fiscal sustainability and economic and community development strategic priorities. Why we're here today, the USBC Bowling Congress and RSCVA has requested an amendment to their agreement. This came before this body in November. You approved that agreement contingent upon a change in this agreement. That is the removal of the general services allocation. That is a current cost to the Reno City General Fund of $375,000 per year. This body requested it go to RSCVA. They approved that change at their December 11th board meeting. The current agreement, as a reminder, the RSCVA manages and operates the downtown facilities, which are the Reno Event Center, as well as the National Bowling Stadium. There is a revenue split if there is positive revenue. However, historically, there has been no net positive income operations out of either of these facilities. As I mentioned, the GSA, we are estimating $370,000 per year, and it increases annually. This is paid from the general fund. The proposed agreement changes this, large part to the leadership of this body and Madam Mayor, your role in both bodies here, and the RSCVA affords this return of $375,000 to the general fund. This is effective with this current fiscal year of July 1, 2025, pending the agreement. And the motion today is approval of the third amendment.
Okay, thank you so much. I just want to say thank you to Councilwoman Anderson. She did a great job assisting me here, so really proud of her, so I wanted to call you out. All right, you want to give me a motion? Okay.
I move to approve the third amendment to the Downtown Event Center operating agreement between RSCVA and the City of Reno.
Okay, thank you so much. We have a motion. We have a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion carries.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thanks. Okay. All right.
All right,
moving
Madam
on.
Mayor, moving on to item D1, David 1, our public hearing.
All right, Madam Clerk, we will now open the public hearing. Has proper notice been given and any correspondence received?
Madam Mayor, proper notice has been given and no correspondence was received. Additionally, we have no public comment on this item.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so that is on the record, just confirming for you. Okay, what are we doing? Let's see. So what, so I assume we need to, I don't know who's going to present this, but, hi, Leah. I assume it's you.
Yes, it's me. Sorry about that.
Well,
I
I didn't know
apologize.
if I needed to have Jackie take us into it. It's all good, but I'm going to let you have the floor, and then you can take us down the road.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Essentially.
Members of the council, I
All right.
apologize for being a couple seconds
No, don't
late.
worry. No, you're totally fine.
You guys skipped an item, and I
Well, I thought, did I miss something here? Like, where's my background? But go ahead.
No, it's okay. Leah Picotti for the record. Today I am presenting an application for a presentation, a discussion, and potential sponsorship of a regional plan amendment for the relocation of a regional utility corridor. This particular request is associated with LDC 2607, which was a tentative map and a conditional use permit for an 82-unit residential subdivision out in Verdi. Approval of this would send this to regional, and should it be approved at regional, the applicant would then be allowed to build that 82-unit subdivision.
Okay.
So this particular parcel is located, again, out in Verdi. It's just south of Old US Highway 40, north of Boomtown, and north of the Truckee River. The site is comprised of 4 parcels, just under 15 acres. And again, this would be a sponsorship of an amendment to allow for this tentative map and 82-unit subdivision to be developed. So the site is comprised of single-family residential and general commercial zoning. You can see the residential portion there on the western side of your screen. That is where the tentative map, the 82 units, are proposed. That's approximately 9 acres. The general commercial area was just included in this application for the realignment of that utility corridor. What you're looking at here on the screen is the regional utility corridor map. So what we are asking is that Truckee Meadows Regional Planning Agency amend this map and move that little area you can see there with my yellow arrow. If this does look familiar, it's because council approved this relocation in 2021. The relocation was not completed. In 2025, the applicant amended the relocation just slightly. And then in December of 2025, the Planning Commission unanimously approved the tentative map and CUP. We waited on that to see if it was going to be appealed. We did not receive an appeal on that, so we've moved forward with this request for the sponsorship. Here you can see the site there in dark gray. The black line that runs across it is where the regional utility corridor is currently located. The solid red line is what was approved in 2021, and the dotted red line is the revision per this CUP. So we're just asking to move it a little bit there. During council briefings, there was some questions about the proximity of this in relation to the existing residential homes. This particular segment is not going to be any closer to homes than it was before. It's actually going to be a little bit further away. And it's actually taking it away from those homes in the River Oak subdivision. There was a condition of approval from 2021 that has moved over into this application. We just kept it exactly the same. And that was that a 3-pole product is going to be prohibited, with the exception that 1 3-pole design may be permitted on the interior of the easternmost parcel. So on the left-hand side of your screen, you can see what's existing. I kind of circled where that utility corridor is located now and that pole design. What is proposed is on the right-hand side. You can see that is a visual representation of what it's going to look like. So you can see it will be a single pole design, and it will run adjacent to or right there with the existing utility lines that run through there now. With that concludes my presentation. The recommended motion is on the board. I'm available for questions, and I believe the applicant is here and available as well.
Any questions? Councilwoman Dewar, your light's on.
I'm sorry.
Nope? Okay. I'm going to hand it Councilman or Vice Mayor Martinez. Give me a motion, please.
Yeah, I move to sponsor a regional plan amendment to amend regional plan utility mapping consistent with the Planning Commission approval of LDC 26-00007.
All right. I have a motion. I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, moving on. Madam Clerk, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Moving on to item F1 in ordinance adoption to be read by the city attorney.
Okay, Carl, it's all you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ordinance adoption, ordinance number 6732, case number TXT 26-00001, child care ordinance amending the Reno Municipal Code, Title 18, annexation and land development, specifically in Chapter 1803, use regulations, Section 1803-206 entitled Table of Allowed Uses, Section 1803-303 entitled Public, Institutional, and Civic Uses, Section 1803-405 entitled Standards for Specific Accessory Uses, to add use standards as they relate to child care centers, child care in-home, and child care workplace, together with matters which pertain to or are necessarily connected therewith, wards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay, thank you so much, Carl. May I get a motion?
Move to adopt.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Madam Clerk, I believe, are we going into item G1?
That's correct.
Okay,
G1, Youth City
I'm going to
Council
hand it over
appointment.
to Vice Mayor, I believe, Martinez. This is your appointment.
Yes, thank you so much. I'd like to recommend appointing or reappointing Addison Guinan, appointing Autumn Carr, and Colin Pilcher to the Youth City Council.
Okay, good. I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, and then it is going to be Councilwoman Anderson's appointment.
Yes, thank you. For the Financial Advisory Board, I want to make the appointment of Mr. John Zanoni.
Okay, I have a motion from
Second.
Councilwoman Anderson. I have a second from Vice Mayor Martinez. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. All right, item H1, this is city council comments. Does anyone have any comments or updates on organizations or boards, anything?
I do.
Go ahead, Councilwoman.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I had the privilege of participating this past weekend in a special event for the Lear, holding off calling it the Lear Theater because we don't know what it will be yet. But it was incredible. And we had about 180 people participate, about 125 in the room. We had to move the room over to McKinley. We were originally going to meet at Reno Sparks Chamber of Commerce. The meeting went about 3 hours. Most people stayed the whole entire time. So we had about 125 in the room and then about another 50 people online. The results of the meeting are going to the Historic Resources Commission this Thursday at 4 o'clock. They meet to discuss making a recommendation to City Council. So that's the process we're following. One of the things you may hear is that there was a tremendous amount of interest on ongoing participation in making decisions about the Lear. And so one of the ideas being considered, we'll see if HRC recommends that, is to set up some kind of working group. It would need to follow open meeting law, but we've used these successfully in other organizations where there's a lot of public interest, and they work really well. And I'll give you an example. Over at the Flood Project, we originally had about 600 people interested in helping design the project, and that morphed into typically 50 members of the public coming to a meeting monthly to discuss development issues. So it can really work. It could also then be a springboard for public fundraising and those kind of things. So we're really excited. There was tremendous support for a variety of directions, but a lot of enthusiasm. And you may also see some proposals to increase funding, but that'll all come from the HRC. So I just wanted to let you know it happened. It was amazing. Gotten a lot of follow-up letters, comments, texts, voicemails saying that they thought it was one of the best meetings they've ever been to in the last 2 decades. So there you go.
Okay.
That Megan Berner, Melissa Hafey, Alicia Barber, myself all worked together to make this come together, and it was really remarkable.
Okay,
Thank you.
good. Love it. All right. Anything else? No?
Oh,
Okay.
there is one more thing.
Go ahead.
I wanted to thank Councilmember Reese because he spotted us, I believe it was $5,000 from his council funds. We used those to make posters, to make printed materials to hand out, and to provide some refreshments, some coffee, tea, that kind of thing at the meeting. And there's plenty to where we can continue on supporting future meetings. So
Okay.
I really wanted to give him a shout out.
Okay, thank you so
You
much.
bet.
All right, good. That's great. Okay, we don't have to take any action on that, but we are going to jump back to item C3, Madam Clerk? Or is there, am I missing something?
Yep, Madam Mayor, you need to go into an attorney. Oh, okay.
Okay, I don't think we have to go into attorney-client unless council has any questions. Do you have any questions? No?
Okay, so we're going to open item C3.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any public comment?
We do not have any public
Okay.
comment registered.
All right, thank you so much. Vice Mayor, give me a motion.
1 second. Okay, I move to approve staff recommendation.
All right, I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed?
Wait, hold on. Can we just say what it is for the YouTube meeting? This is really fast.
What? I guess I'm not following you. What did you
Okay.
say, Megan?
The name
You're
of
on
the agenda item.
You're on the YouTube?
Yeah. Can you just slow down just a tiny bit?
Sure.
Okay, so this was item C.
3.
Okay, and what was this for?
It's the approval of the legal settlement.
Okay, what was that for?
If the attorney's office would like to take this.
Just for the record, John Shipman, City Attorney's Office. Yeah, item C3, it's an approval of a legal settlement with, in the case of McElroy and Troop versus the City of Reno, case number 3-3:23CV00451, Art CSD, in the amount of $300,000.
Thank you. I mean, I just think it's important that we at least comment on what that is or mention what it is. This is, a sizable settlement, and we do have budget concerns going on. So I think it's valid to at least address what it is and not just call it a number and make a motion to approve. So those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay, and I just hope everyone gets their agenda items and reads through them so you know what's on the agenda as well. And I hope those are posted online so that you can follow the meeting along. So I assume that those are posted on YouTube, I hope, as well.
It is,
Okay.
but I think that we do the public a disservice if we don't even acknowledge what these agenda items are.
I know, but it's important that people know where they can find them. All right, I have a motion and a
Oh, yeah,
second. All those in
that's fine.
favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, Madam Clerk.
All right, Madam Mayor, with that, we only have our closing public comment remaining for this, and we have not received any public comment as of yesterday, so I'm just looking for a motion to adjourn.
Okay. Your favorite motion?
Second.
Miguel's favorite motion? No, I'm just kidding. I have 3 motions over here simultaneously. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. What if I don't accept the motion?
This might be the
Can I
shortest
keep
city
you
council
here?
meeting I've ever attended.
Carl, can I keep them here if they don't accept the motion? Have you ever seen that done before?
I have not seen that done, but you can do it. You can do it. If anybody can, it'd be you,
The
Madam
good
Mayor.
news is we all are busy, and I can't afford to keep you guys all here, so I'm not doing it. All right, take care, everyone. Thanks.
Good job, Mayor.
Okay.